I'm going to show you how to get light, effective makeup coverage, especially for the summer. Hi, my name is Lisa. I've been an esthetician for 21 years and I have recently become a Seint artist because I fell in love with this makeup, especially for mature skin. Today I'm going to show you the Demi technique, but I'm going to show you with a 3D foundation and I'm going to do the full face Demi technique. This is all about minimal coverage, effective coverage, but it literally looks like you have no makeup on and it looks like beautiful, gorgeous, glowing skin. First off, the brush matters. So I am using these two. This one here is called the Bright Brush and this is the Shape Brush. These are both from the Demi color line. I have a lot of videos on my channel that you can take a look at for Demi and what that looks like. Demi color is a different consistency and you use it a little bit differently, but I'm going to do the same exact technique in the same order, but with the 3D foundation. So first off, what you do with the Demi technique is you put on your color makeup first. So like your blush, your bronzer, your contour. If you're going to use contour, you don't have to. So today I'm actually going to do just a bronzer, especially for whisper-like coverage that we want for the summer. I'm just going to do bronzer. So here's the Shape Brush and I'm just tapping into a little bit of the illuminators on the side too, but you could just do straight bronzer. So first, this seems kind of strange that I'm putting on the bronzer first, but you will see why once I get this completed. And this is super fast, especially once you know your patterns, and we go over all of these things with your color match. So all of my information is down below and my text service number is also there. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to contact me that way because it's like more of a conversation, like in real time, but you could do the color match form and that's just a short questionnaire asking about your skin type and what you want out of your makeup, and then you submit your makeup-free selfie so I could see your undertones so we can pick your proper shades. All right, so now that is just the warmth that I put all over. And now you could do the blush. Again, it seems kind of strange that I'm doing it this way. This is Ibiza. I'm just putting a little bit of this color on here. All right, so that's all of my color on here. Now I'm going to get to the color correcting. Got a little bit closer for this so you can see what's going on. I also have like my super glowy SPF, so I'm looking like a little shiny, but I like it because everything just kind of glows and shows through any of the makeup, and in the summertime, I'm just a sucker for that. Okay, so now we're going to the Bright Brush. Like I said, you could take a look at my other videos and you'll see a whole bunch of them where I'm doing this with Demi color. And this is the 3D foundation though. So this is my main shade and this is Athens. This is actually a new shade that just came out and a new highlight shade, foundation shade for people. And it is incredible. And I am so happy with it. It has been working for so many of my color matches. It seems to be, it's a neutral tone. I'm more on the neutral side, and it seems to be really works very well for light to medium skin tones. Now, if you see, I only just tapped a couple of spots there, and I literally just did a couple of taps because this makeup is so pigmented and it goes on so smoothly that once you tap with the other side of your brush, it just melds everything together and you get coverage, but it looks like skin. Looks amazing. So you don't have all of this cakey coverage, especially with water-based foundation that tends to, you know, once the water evaporates from the formula that's on your skin, that's when you get like that dry cakiness and it settles into the fine lines and it becomes all chalky. And that's what I was really grappling with. Now that I have more mature skin, my makeup routine is changing. You might be noticing that too. Just as we're getting older, of course, you know, things don't behave the same way on our skin like they used to, especially water-based formulas and powders. So now I'm going to continue on. So you see how that literally just canceled that all out, that blue purple that I had here. And like I said, this shade is brilliant. There's something about this formulation that I don't need to use a color corrector because that's what I was doing before with my other main shade that I was using before. So this has been a game changer for me because it's so quick and fast. And I don't even have to powder my under eyes because I'm putting these on so thin. So that's it. This is the darkness that I have out there in the corner, all covered. I even use these on my eyelids. I do have an eye primer on. Everything is linked down below, the eye primer that I like to use, but I'm using the fluffy side of this brush here. And then just wisp it on very thin so you won't get any creasing, as long as you're not caking it on, but that just literally canceled out all of the discoloration that I had on my eyelids. And it just looks like blank canvas. But it also doesn't look fake, you know, so that's what I like too. So I could put minimal eyeshadow and I don't have to necessarily cover up like a stark white base. Now the other side, I'm gonna do the same thing with the small dome end of my brush. A couple of taps in there. Here is like a really dark blue. You can really see this here. So I'm just gonna tap it. So I'm not putting so much. I'm not swiping a whole bunch of color on here. And then you could even just do little wisps there like so. And then flip over to the fluffy side and tap it out. And then it just melds into the skin. Now I'm going to do the outer corner, because it is usually a problem area for me. The other side looked a little bit darker. That's another thing too, because our skin tones and different things that we have to correct can change daily. So sometimes when you are color correcting, it's not necessarily a mirror image. So you just go side to side and just examine what it is that you need for that day on any given area of your face. So now eyelids, same thing. You saw how little I just tapped in there, and it literally just spread and covered everything, and that's just going to stay very lightly and not crease. You could powder. Sometimes I'll powder my eyelids. Today with my eye primer, I don't think I really need to, and I put this on so thin. Next, I'm going to do a little bit of brightening, but nothing crazy. You don't have to. You might not have to do this at all, but I feel like it actually kind of covers this little trough a little bit for me. And like I said, your pattern will be a little bit different. It's not necessarily going to be exactly what I use or how I use it. I feel like this side, my left eye, has a little bit more of a pronounced bag. So this technique kind of helps too, camouflage it, and also brightens underneath here. And I'm not putting a whole bunch of cakey makeup, especially something super light, on the tissue or the eye bag, because that could actually make it more noticeable and could cause more texture there. So that's another thing with mature skin. We definitely do not want to be adding any texture, but we do want to brighten, because that makes a huge, huge difference. Okay, that looks way better. So of course, like, I can't make the bag disappear, but I can make things look a little bit softer, which is what I absolutely love, and a little bit brighter. You could even go in between, you know, like in like on the high points of your face and down your nose and whatnot. Maybe I'll do a little bit of contour on my nose, because I've been playing with that, and I'm going to show you how whisper light that could even be, where it's not noticeable, but it makes a huge difference. I'm not one for like a super noticeable contour. However, I do have, if you could tell, like I have a little bit of a deviated septum, so you could kind of see it, especially like on film, and it's gotten more pronounced now that I'm getting older. It's really interesting. Like, what? So this is the contour that I like to use, again, dependent on color match, because that is really going to determine what your tones are. So I can see what your tones are. Let me do that there so I'm not making all this noise. So I like to do this technique, and I've seen it done by other artists, and it really, really helps me, because I'm a total novice when it comes to nose contour. So I'm just going to take this here like so, and then you kind of put your fingers like together like this, and then put them on the top of your bridge. At least for me, this is how this works. So I put like a line on either side of my nose. Looks weird. And just go straight down. I feel like my fingers are touching. Looks like a huge mess right now. And now I'm going to go into my brush. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to put a little bit of brightening, but I have to be really careful, because this is where the deviated septum kind of gives me a problem. So if I put it here, perhaps a little bit higher, and then when I tap it out, it'll all meld together. Call me crazy, but I think it is doing something. However, I feel like I need more practice, which I'm totally cool with. But this is the best experience that I have had with contouring my nose, because everything that I've ever done has been like a huge mess. I mean, it looks horrendous. So this has been the easiest time that I've had, but I'm gonna have to tweak it a little bit more. But I think it's a little bit better. You can see that it did straighten a little bit more. Wow. Okay, now back to the color correcting. All right, so now that I did all of that, I have zero foundation on my face. The only thing that I have on my face right now is the bronzer and the blush that I put on, and just around my eyes. That's it. And already, because I took care of one of the major distractions on my skin, which is my under eyes, again, my pattern, my skin complexion looks so much brighter and so much more even and luminous because of that. Now, I have a couple more spots. Not much though. I have a couple of acne scars and a couple of pimples here. So this one here is something new that popped up. Here's my main shade again. And this has been the perfect match for me. So this really works just for color correcting, and that's all I have to do is this little pinpoint. You could powder just these areas, little translucent powder, and then that will also help to set it and keep it there. And this makeup is literally so pigmented because it's a cream formula, no water in the formula whatsoever, and it's more dense, so it stays a lot better. And then, let me see what happens with this, because usually with Demi color, it works because it is so whispered light and it's more of a waxy texture. Again, take a look at my other videos. I made one a little bit more recent. I think I did a full face of Demi, so a few months ago, I think. Yeah, you'll find it. And you'll see the difference, but I want to see how this fares. Okay, because usually with Demi, you put all of your color cosmetics on, and then when you pinpoint, it could be the brush also, because I'm putting it on so whisper light, that it doesn't disturb the blush. So if you have a pimple or a scar or any discoloration, even melasma spots, anything like that, that is poking through your color cosmetics, if you go over it and do this Demi technique, it makes the spot disappear, but it doesn't disturb the color. Okay, well, even in the mirror, you know, so sometimes there's a difference between the mirror and the camera, but it looks like everything is pretty copacetic here. Okay, so it does work with the 3D, especially if you have the right shade. That's the main thing with this, is you have to have the perfect shade for your undertones. So you could leave it like this. This is totally the fresh face summer look. And if you wanted to, you could do a little bit of Illuminator. So if you have that in your palette, I'm gonna do, have a purse palette video coming, you know, where you have like something a little bit more compact than this. You could get whatever compact that you would like. We have smaller ones. This one is the 8 palette, and we also have a 4 palette, you know, where it would just be the top tier, but the 8 has the bottom tier. So this is what I have in my purse, one like this, and I absolutely love it. So it's small enough that I could keep it in there with no issues of being overbolt. Really nice not having a makeup bag, you know, with a whole bunch of stuff like all stuffed in there. That was me. That was my former life. All right, so little Illuminator. I always put it up here. Everybody's different. Again, your pattern we'll discuss. Some people have a little bit more texture out here, so you don't want to necessarily showcase that. And that means that your highlighter might be a little bit lower. You know, you just kind of tweak like your placement, that's all. But I actually feel like it helps for this area to be more illuminated because it reflects the light and kind of tricks the eye into like any texture that I have here. So far my texture hasn't been that bad, but like I said, everybody's different, and this is what we'll talk about with your color match. Of course, you can even put these on your lips, and I'm gonna do, this is a gloss. I love the glosses. The mirror. I already had just a little bit of lip gloss on before, but this one is Boardwalk, and it's just so pretty. I love more of a soft lip. You could go full on with these lip liner. You could even line your lip with a contours. Everything is all in one palette. You have like, you know, a couple of brushes with you, and you could do travel brushes. My purse palette video has, you know, just what I use for travel. And it as long as it's for cream makeup, you'll be good, you know? So as long as it's something that is effective to pick up the cream and disperse it on your face, it'll work. Okay, and that is it for today. And sometimes I just marvel at this because I literally, I mean, you saw, I have no foundation on my face whatsoever. And you saw in the beginning, I had the discolorations, especially my under eyes. And it is literally such minimal product, but it looks like so fresh. And it feels like I have nothing on my skin. The cream makeup also becomes a second skin, you know, so you don't have that dry, cakey, chalky, like I was saying, the water that evaporates from the traditional foundation. And, you know, tinted moisturizers and stuff like that, of course. Like, I love more oil-based tinted moisturizers, and like Kosas makes a really good one that's just a beautiful formula, and it's oil-based. I love things that are oil-based for mature skin. But that is super fast and easy. I'm also going to go over, I'm going to be making a future video. It's so simple. You just literally just take a little bit of this and mix it with a moisturizer, and make a tinted moisturizer, and this has like cream and oil base, so it'll give you that kind of an effect, and it has that second skin look, which is my absolute favorite. So the water base I totally stay away from now. One thing about the cream makeup too, aside from, you know, like if you were gonna have something in a bottle, just everything is in here. I mean, traveling is amazing with it. You don't have to worry about TSA. I mean, it's just so convenient. I had no idea that it was going to be such a big deal for me not to have to be rummaging through my makeup bag. I wasn't really thinking about that when I said, I was like, oh, it'll be like really convenient, have everything in one place. It really, really is. And that is one of my top reasons why I fell in love with this makeup system. So again, all of my information is down below, and you can find my text service number, which is, you know, quicker way to get in contact with me, or you can do the color match form. There's different options. My link tree is down there. I just noticed, so I got this pimple right here, just in the camera. And of course, the color is gone, but I just wanted to make a quick comment. You can't change texture. So unfortunately, since this is a little bump, this is going to show, because it's three-dimensional. What are you gonna do? You know, but at least the color, discoloration is gone. So if I tap it a little bit more, maybe it'll make it not as stark. So I just wanted to point that out, because there's a couple of these. They're drying up though. They're drying up. They're almost gone. But sometimes, you know, you can do what you can do. But this helps a lot. So thank you again for joining me, and I will see you next time.